Hi, I'm John. This is my show, An American Scheme, where I'm proving that Diana Ross is Michael Jackson's actual mother. So I want to talk about things about like how right now there was that documentary called Square One. Okay, so what I'm saying is that Square One is talking about Michael Jackson pedophile. It doesn't matter that it's on the side of trying to defend Michael against the allegations. The entire video is about Michael Jackson's pedophile years and all the people that are accusing him, or it's about Michael Jackson the pedophile. And so what I'm saying is I talk about Michael Jackson the human being. And so Square One, I say right off of the bat, okay, Square One, how are you going to talk about Square One when all you're talking about is basically in 93 the allegations, okay? And you're going to be talking about the allegations, okay? So what I'm saying is that the whole concept of your story is so pathetic because you're not dealing with who Michael Jackson the actual person is. And if the reality of what Square One is which I would show you in a video, is I would take you back to around the 1970 time, and I would show you how Michael Jackson acts at that time. I would show you his characteristics are actually very manly. And then I would show you up until this point where I'm going to show you here with this Eddie Murphy that his characteristics have changed, his mannerisms, and who's the most dominating force and influential force in Michael Jackson's life during that period would be Diana Ross. It's all of the interactions and things that happen with Diana Ross. She's the one, that's Square One. Where did Michael Jackson's personality change? And it was from the beginning. You could see he was who he was in the beginning. He spoke like a young man, acted like a young man. Then at this time, he's changed now. By this time, there's been a big difference in his development. And because of that, you'll see, I'm going to show you this clip right here.
Michael Jackson, who can sing, and is a good-looking guy, but ain't the most masculine fellow in the world.
Okay, so this is 1983. At this time already, Michael Jackson has an image of being shy, and not just shy, but not the most masculine fellow in the world. Like so, and when he's saying he's not masculine, what he's saying is not masculine is traits that are associated with homosexuals and pedophiles. Okay? They're not traits that are associated with rock stars. Rock star people don't have that. No way. Those rock star singer people, they don't carry that trait like how Michael Jackson. There's something different. And you want to talk about Square One, you go back and look at his first interviews, you'll see that he was not like that. And if you actually look at the actual evidence, like I say, who's the person there that is influencing Michael, and who's the person that has those characteristic traits? Diana Ross. Everything about it. So that's what I'm saying. When the Square One documentary stuff, I'm saying it's so pathetic because all it's doing is talking, really all it's doing is promoting Leaving Neverland. The way I see it, that's what I'm saying. That thing in itself, what it is so low quality of any attempt to defend Michael. It's for the really, really dumb people who get bombarded with a bunch of evidence, and then people, what happens is they get people projecting that this is a film, and if you watch it, you'll see that there's a lot of evidence. And then you get a lot of people projecting that, people saying, yes, this is the evidence that does it. This is the evidence that really defends him because it deals with all of it. And then so, but really all those people, they're all talking about Michael Jackson pedophile stuff. That's, ugh. They're all losers, and everything about all that stuff, it's so pathetic. It's just like not dealing with anything whatsoever. So what I want to say, what I'm saying basically here is the Square One doesn't deal with the fact that right here, this is 1983, okay? Michael Jackson's base, let's say he's 25 years old, okay? So at this time in society, Michael Jackson was allowed in society to play off that is, but they're not the most masculine fellow, his image thing, because he was such a star, because he was still young enough, people were like, well, we'll wait and see what happens and stuff. And he still was way normal back then because he still was totally considered black. It was vitiligo stuff and not advanced, but then, the way it advanced with him more like looking like he's trying to be white. People are not understanding the skin disorder, what's going on, plus the comedy, why is he doing it, all the stuff, plus the surgeries, which happened later. This would even be before his hair got burnt, all this. He's as normal as can be. But even here, at this point, we got to go back to here and say, even at this point, he's being recognized as a person with not masculine traits. And so what I'm saying is this is the problem with the square one, is that all the people have seen the entirety, and the people are saying, you're square one, how does that deal with the fact that Michael wasn't even masculine back here? And why is he not masculine at this time and stuff? So there's a lot more going on there. So the other thing is, so this is the part of what I'm showing you too about the reason is I'm proving to you that up until the point of where the pedophile accusations occur, let's look at who Michael actually was, the person. So right there, let's say from 25 years old in 83, Eddie Murphy's telling you not the most masculine fella right there. He's not having any real relationships at that time. There's nothing going on. And then here's Michael telling you that and this is the Glenda tapes. I looked it up. It said that these occurred in from 90 to 92. Okay, that's what they were saying, that these were recorded around that time. So now we've got the Eddie Murphy stuff back in 83. So now we're leading up until around the 93 period. And so up until this point, and so this is what Michael's talking about, relationships.
I don't love those people. I want to be with them. I want to know what a relationship is all about before I die.
Right there. So I want to know what a relationship is all about before I die. So, he says, I don't love those people. She's saying there's all these people around you and stuff. He says, I don't love those people. And he says, I want to be with someone. So right here, he's telling you up at this time, there's never been any never a real relationship. He says, I want to know what a relationship is all about before I die. Can't you understand that, girl?
I've never had, I've been with Tate.
Okay, so he says, I think might have this cut off there at the beginning. He says, I've been with Tate, and so he's talking about Tatum O'Neal. And so now Tatum O'Neal, when you hear her recollection of her dating Michael and stuff, it's like, he was really shy. But the one thing that she says is she was 13 years old when Michael kissed her. And so this is one of those things too, where Michael's like trying to figure out, one of the people he first actually tries to like mess around with, he kisses Tatum O'Neal, and she's 13 years old. And this is a documented thing, but they never had a sexual relationship. And so he's telling you too, like, he's using Tatum O'Neal as an example of a relationship.
I've been with Tate. I thought I was with Diana. It was just in my own mind.
So I thought I was with Diana. It was just in my own mind. He says, so, I've been with Tate. I've been with, not with, he specifies. I've been with, not with, he says. He says, I've been with Tate. And he's saying, so now we have to understand the context of his understanding of been with. Okay, so he's saying he's been with Tate. He did not ever have sex with Tatum O'Neal. He kissed her when she was 13 years old. So the actual context, the actual facts of what was going on. Now, they had a long friendship and they were together and stuff. And she would have been with him, but he was not willing to ever. They never had sex. They never had that. They never really had a relationship. And she's the example he's given. And this is way longer. This is 10 years after any kind of relationship he would have had with Tatum O'Neal. This recording is done 10 years way after that. So he's referring back to this. Michael can't ever he doesn't have a person refer when he talks about relationships, like he'll bring up Tatum O'Neal, or he'll bring up Brooke Shields, or he'll bring up Diana Ross, because the reality, he has no history of real relationships from any woman to draw in. He can't go there. There's no one there. So he uses people like the Tatum O'Neal, and then he says, I thought I was with Diana. It was just in my own mind. And it's like those lines, and it's like, wow, the weird of Like, how does he think he was in the 70s? Like, him and Diana, like I said, it must have been really, really hard when Michael was a kid growing up and having a crush on Diana Ross of the Supremes. The beautiful black young singer, the goddess, in the beautiful way she dressed, she was beautiful. Like it says in the Billie Jean, it says she was more like a beauty queen from a movie scene. That's Diana Ross, because you talk about Diana Ross, because that's though her image. She's like a beauty queen from a movie scene. And so that beauty queen from a movie scene woman then tells Michael, you're my kid, you know. I was doing everything for you. When she's explaining, and then what happens, I keep stressing to people that it's like, when the Jacksons moved to California, they're living with Diana Ross and Berry Gordy. The Jacksons are divided in those houses, but Michael's living with Diana. And Michael says that Diana takes him out alone. Almost every day they go out alone, and she's teaching him in art and taking him in museums and all kinds of stuff like that. And I just am trying to get people to like smack him in the head. Wake up. Do you see what he just said there? Not only are they living with Diana, him and Diana are going out every day together alone. And I'm saying there's no way Joseph would have allowed that to occur. He's worked so hard. He's got his family into Motown. Okay, you can, that they move out there and that they're living with them, okay. But first of all, that Diana would take the time to go out with Michael over, and it's a long period of time. It's not just like she took him here or there. It was over a year. It was like a year and a half that they lived there, and that she was taking him out, and they would go out together. It's crazy. It's like, what? How does it even occur? How is that possible? I say there's no way. There's no way it's possible. There's no way. And so then Michael, because right there at that young age, she's taking him out alone. That relationship, how it developed right there, it was weird. However it developed, it was so weird and stuff that it caused Michael so much pain where he did not get into relationships, which is proven. And it's proven here in his own words. After the experience with Diana, you've got Eddie Murphy saying this is not the most masculine man now, and he's an adult, but something about him is, there's not a masculinity, there's something wrong is really what he's saying. Because I seen him when he's a kid. He's fine. He's totally normal. But now at that time, no, something had changed by that time when he had spent all that time with Diana Ross. There was a change in his actual psyche, who he actually was. And it's because of Diana Ross. It's all because of her. She's the major influence there that changes that. Because without him, his experiences of going through and being an entertainer and the stuff, it doesn't turn him into that guy at all. There's no way to where he's lonely like this. By this time, he's abandoned his whole family. He never gets into any relationships. It's like, what happened? That's what I'm trying to say is square one. First of all, you've got to understand, how did Michael Jackson turn from a normal kid in a big family? How does he turn into this guy who is unmasculine and has no relationships, but is desiring more than anything, wanting to be in a relationship and wanting to know what is that about? Because he knows he's missing out on that. He knows that's a part of his life he's missing out on. And because he's missing out on that, the proven facts of the case of what happened is what he supplemented, because he was not getting that relationships with the women, what he supplemented that for.
I have suffered and dealt with the same kind of medical problem now afflicting my friend Michael Jackson. Because of that, and because of our friendship, when Michael's doctor called to ask if I could help, I was glad to intervene. I traveled to Mexico City, where I saw for myself that Michael was in desperate need of specialized medical attention.
All right, so how does that happen? It's like, okay, so this is square one. And this is already developed now. And then so Now at this time where the pedophile accusations, this is also occurring. You're getting Michael is being exposed as having this drug addiction, and she's telling you she's witnessed it firsthand. It was bad. And when she's saying it's bad, that means it's been going on for years. He's got a serious problem where it's like, if you continue this level of drug use, you're going to die. Like right now, your life is in jeopardy. Like, I don't know how the fans, it's like, do you people just forget? See, you people weren't alive. You don't even know. You didn't live through this stuff, that this was the stuff that I lived through. All this stuff happened. So there's like a development. And so when Michael Jackson is being called, and when he first is accused of being, when he's first accused of being a pedophile, right? So in the 93 time, this is the guy who is being accused of being a pedophile. That's what I'm saying is the first big problem with anything that's done with like the MJ innocent people. You're not even dealing with who Michael Jackson is. I just proved to you this is the guy who is leading up into that point where they're saying now that that guy is now being accused of being a pedophile, where a kid now has officially accused him of sexually abusing him, and he's now being accused of a pedophile, okay, being a pedophile, okay? So now you have to understand, it's like, okay, well, this is the guy they're accusing, okay? Why are they accusing him? Well, look at his history leading up to that. There's something wrong. Something's going on, and not only is there something going on, when she's talking about him being on drugs, that means he has to have been under the influence of drugs all the time he was with the kid. So that's what I'm saying. The people are talking about MJ innocent. First of all, you're wrong. There's something that happened. I truly don't believe that they just out of the blue said, we're going to set him up. We're making up this whole story. I think the kid said something. From when the kid first had encounters with Michael, I think at very first there's something. The kid said something. It could have been about the drugs. It could have been about seeing Michael in an improper way, and something. There's something that occurred that he relayed to the dad. Now then at that point, I'll agree that the dad concocted whatever story you people want to say he concocted. I'll agree with you 100%. I'll agree with every single thing. But what I won't agree with you is that he concocted that without the kid saying something to him first. I think that there was some encounter where the kid, because, okay, when you're in love with a star like Michael Jackson, then when you meet that person and that's a drug addict, he's a druggie. And not only is he a drug addict, he's not the most masculine fellow. He's weird. And because he's not having any kind of affection from women, because of that, he literally touches these kids. And that's the part where I'm saying, man, you MJ innocent people, you got a problem, because it's documented. Man, I can't even tell you how many photographs I've seen with Michael Jackson's hands on kids. And not kids where they're photo shoots. These are ones that were different ones in other places where it's like, it shouldn't have been always like that, but he's very handsy. Michael's handsy with these kids. And I do believe there's a little affection there, that he did get a little bit of affection that he didn't get any, that there was some of that, and it's some form of that. Technically, it's connected. You can definitely make that a case for child abuse. And then if these kids are saying he's abused them, oh my God, it's going to be devastating. And that's where we're at now, where now you're getting multiples of kids now saying these things. And that's where it's like, man, all of the stuff out there, all of it, to me, it's total junk. It does nothing. Like, there's a word like in a courtroom, you'd say, oh, I concede. That's what you would do. So this is what I would do with like the Danny Wu's Square One documentary, okay? I saw all the evidence that thing had in it. And so what I would say is, I concede, Your Honor, that the dad, the Chandler's dad, I was trying to think I can't think of the dad's name. Anyway, so whatever. So the dad, I concede that the freaking dad put a plan into motion to attack Michael Jackson as a pedophile, so he knew that was going to garner him a huge financial reward. But I do not concede that if Michael did not give the financial award, I don't concede that he would have not gone through with the actual trial. I think he would have went through the trial then at that time. If he doesn't get the money, they're going to court. Because the lawyer that he had with him, he was also, once the lawyer, they made that arrangement and that agreement, that's it. The lawyer, once you hire, he's like an assassin. He will not stop. They're like Terminators, you know? They will not stop. They have no conscience. They are going to attack. They have a mission. He knows what he's going after. And that lawyer was going after 20 million. You know, he was not settling because you have to understand the reason that the lawyer can do that, because he knows there's evidence, there's something there. There's something there that he knows he can bully and push him around. And it's the real world. You can't just go doing that stuff. The people think that lawyers will just do stuff. They won't do that. It's like people don't play like they don't do stuff like that. There has to be things, and the lawyers will do things. They'll make attempts and they'll try and get a settlement out of court. You know, they will try for that. And because usually what they say is that the cost of just to fight any case, like if somebody put a case on Michael, right? So just for him to go through the basic process of defending himself is going to cost him thousands of dollars. So people think, we could get a quick settlement for $50,000 just because they don't want to deal with any kind of the financials it's going to cost him. So people were always going after Michael. But from what I understand from Michael, he never paid out people stuff like that. And he fought everything, and he would then countersue these people. He was aggressive. He was really aggressive legally, but not with the kid. He paid the kid off. You know, and it's there's a lot more there. So what I'm saying is that the Square One and all of the documentaries that are trying to fight against the Leaving Neverland, right? They're all basing their stuff all revolving around the Michael Jackson accusations of a pedophile. And what I'm saying is you're going to lose that case in a court. You're going to lose that because the evidence shows that for 10 years prior to the kids accusing that Michael was being in society, that he was not a masculine man, that Michael, in his own words, had not experienced a relationship with a woman up until that time. And then at that time, he's a drug addict. He's about on his deathbed. So then you're saying now that guy that these people are calling, like the Michael Jackson fans, that you represent him as, he's such an angel, he's so pure, he's so good. No, not in a courtroom. This guy with the facts right here of what I just proved to you, that guy will be very easily in a courtroom be looked upon as a pedophile. If you have kids in a courtroom accusing him of these accusations. Now, so what I'm saying is, like, Michael's now he's not being tried in a courtroom. He's being tried in public by Wade and James. But in our society, with what's going on right now, Wade and James, with those those two accusers, even with the problems of the documentary, the accusers to have the accusations are so powerful. To have two of them and what they're saying, and I believe they're brainwashed. There's things, all the reasons, but it doesn't matter because the facts of the case shows that Michael up into this time wasn't masculine. He doesn't have any form of relationships with women, and he's got serious drug problems, which obviously continued because he dies with no women because he gets into fake marriages, which are totally bogus, which we're going to find out really soon by Lisa Marie. When her book comes out, we're going to find out exactly, I think, how bogus that was. And that's going to validate all of my story too. And Michael doesn't have any relationships. He continues the same patterns. That's the thing. And so the guy, and that's what they always say, is that people, abusers, they always continue the same patterns, okay? That's the problem. The other problem with Michael is if you look and you continue after this, you're going to see that Michael actually continued the same patterns of what I'm showing you. He's not masculine. He started hanging out with kids way more, where he's got the Neverland Ranch, where now he's got abundance of kids and things going on and those stuff of what he's doing and stuff. And his drug addictions got worse. His medical procedures, you know, so you're talking about mental issues and things that are going on, all that stuff. So if you look from 1983 and then you jump up to 93 to the accusations, you can see that the guy leading up to that is a guy that's not credible in any part of having any form of relationships with women. It's not proven whatsoever. So it's a guy that can be looked upon as a pedophile. That's why I'm telling you, these MJ innocent people, you're not going to win. You don't have a case. You don't have a case. Because Michael, there's no proven evidence that Michael had any real relationships with women. That's not there. And what is proven is the drug addiction stuff. When you actually get into it, what you're going to find is you're going to find drug addiction is what you're going to find. That's what Michael was supplementing all of the time, because he wasn't getting in relationships with women, and he had all of the pain because of the Diana Ross and having no family and reality and stuff. But why does, which doesn't fall into the context of the reality of Michael Jackson of the Jacksons. It doesn't matter what Joe does to him. Why does he abandon the whole Jackson family? All of them, basically, He goes, like, when he's telling him all, he's on his own. All this stuff. He doesn't trust anybody. That's what you're always going to hear from Michael. What does he, when you really want to hear the most? I don't trust anybody. I don't love anybody. Never had any. That's what you really hear in his songs. These songs I've been explaining of his songs. It's like, dude, listen to his songs. This is not the Michael Jackson of what we've been told and the appearance of what he is. This dude's dealing with serious issues and pains. He's screaming at Diana. He's screaming, and he's saying things that he should not be saying. These are not written of the way of the appearance of how we used to see Michael Jackson. There's something else going on here. And it's always my story that actually, I explain everything, because I deal with square one. I actually go back into the whole development of Michael, like how does Michael get to the Jacksons? How does Michael actually get conceived? Like the whole thing. How is Michael actually conceived? Then the whole thing about that, how he's given to the Jacksons, then how the whole Jackson experience is developed to where they get to Motown. Then you have the Diana Ross interaction, which leads him into developing into who he becomes, to where the Eddie Murphy is looking at him in the early 83, right as the Thriller's coming out, develops into that stuff. Right after that, he's screaming Dirty Diana, screaming all this stuff, leave me alone. After that, it's not long after that, he's turning into he's screaming, I don't have any relationships, and I don't have no idea. But then after that, he's turning into a drug addict. And after that, he starts being accused of a pedophile. And it's like a weird cycle. All the stuff, it's crazy. But my story is the one that I talk about square. I talk about everything. I prove everything with facts. I go back there, I'll show you the facts. I'll show you the dates. I have all the evidence to prove everything. But it's a big pile of evidence, and you have to be, that's what I keep saying to people. The first thing I always tell to people is you have to be a Michael Jackson fan. That's the first thing. If you're just a fan, oh my God, it's so easy then you would be interested. You couldn't not be interested in my story. This is the thing I tell you about all like the MJ Avengers, all those people like that. Okay, they're not interested in my story. Okay, they're not Michael Jackson fans. Because if you're a Michael Jackson fan, you couldn't not be interested in my story. This is why I yell at you that you guys are all fake fans and how stupid and fake and pathetic you are, because my story is the realest one. I'm the one dealing with all the best. I got all the best evidence. Because my story is true. There ain't no doubt about it. And my story is so true. It's the best one. There's nothing out there even close. And my story is cool because my story has Michael Jackson being the love child of Diana Ross and Smokey Robinson. It's actually cool too. Jeez. And then even after that, it develops into that Macaulay Culkin is Paris Jackson's sperm donor daddy. So I even have that part where it's like, whoa, I want to see that part proven. I want to see them do a TV special with Macaulay Culkin and Paris. I want to see them do a TV special and have them do a DNA test. And I want to have it proven on a TV that he is her dad. How cool of a TV show would that be? Don't you guys want to see that show? That's the show that I'm trying to get to come out. I don't know why you guys don't want that. This is the truth. And these are the shows that are going to run over and dominate the Leaving Neverland, because it's going to be crushed, because everybody's going to now really sympathize for Michael and understand, oh my God, this was a real victim. This dude had pain, and this dude didn't know what to do. And he said, because he had so much pain and stuff, he couldn't even get involved with women. And because that had to have the kids, and then that turned back on him, and he ended up dead, drugged out, and nobody's standing up for him and stuff. It's like, God damn. You know, God damn. Would some fans please fucking stand up?